Faulty and malfunctioning human body. Crude intelligent design or disastrous evolution. The human body stands as a testament to both the marvels and mishaps of biological development. While our bodies have adapted to ensure survival and reproduction, they also bear the marks of compromises and limitations. This video will show the numerous anatomical, physiological, and genetic faults in the human body, illustrating that while we are equipped with remarkable capabilities, but at the same time we are also left with a series of inefficiencies and vulnerabilities. We can divide these deficiencies and their consequences into four main categories. 1. Unnecessary body parts. 2. Unsuitable body parts that create problems. 3. Defective functioning of the human body. 4. Flawed physical construction. Before we start, we make a humble submission that we have been presenting knowledge-based videos on this channel. We need your support and request that you subscribe our channel, like it, press the bell icon, leave a comment, and share it with your friends if you like the video. Unnecessary body parts. The human body retains several vestigial structures, remnants of our evolutionary past that no longer serve a significant purpose. These body parts might have been useful millions of years ago, but today they serve no purpose for us. Rather, these body parts cause troubles and medical problems for people. Wisdom teeth. The first such body parts are the wisdom teeth, which are useless in today's life. Millions of years ago, wisdom teeth were useful to humans, as they needed more chewing power for hard foods and fibrous veggies. Around 1 million to 2 million years ago, we learned how to cook, which softened our raw foods. Therefore, there was no more need for these teeth to soften food. Over time, due to eating cooked soft food, our jaws shrank, making it harder for those extra teeth to fit in our mouths, leading to impaction, infections, and the need for surgical extraction. Appendix. The second such organ is the appendix. It has very little or no purpose in our bodies. It is likely a remnant of ancient times when our ancestors ate mostly plants. It still helps plant-eating vertebrates to digest food, but it's no longer part of the human digestive system. On the other hand, it often becomes inflamed and life-threatening, necessitating surgical removal. Its removal does not make any difference to our bodies. A few muscles. There are a few muscles in our body that are no longer used. First is the palmaris longus muscle. It is a small tendon located near the wrist. It is absent in about 26% of the population. The absence of palmaris longus muscle is more prevalent in females than males. The absence of the palmaris longus does not affect grip strength. Second, are the erector pili muscles, or hair erector muscles. These are small muscles attached to hair follicles in mammals. Contraction of these muscles causes the hair to stand on end, known colloquially as goosebumps. These muscles are useless in humans as they do not have too much body hair, unlike animals, where these erector pili muscles work in a more useful way. These muscles cause the erection of the porcupine's long, thick hairs, which causes the animal to become more intimidating, thus scaring away predators. Third, are the auricular muscles. These are 3 tiny muscles in our body in the ear area. These are remnants of ancient times when our primate ancestors depended on the full use of their senses to survive. 2 of the 3 auricular muscles in humans are completely useless, but only one, which is the smallest and called the anterior auricular muscle, has a subtle effect as it can draw a part of the upper ear up and forward. Nipples. Nipples in males are other body parts that are redundant. These serve no purpose as compared to women who have nipples and are attached to breast tissue that provides vital milk to their babies. Nipples in males are not attached to any milk-producing organs and seem to provide no evolutionary purpose. Jacobson's organ. Another such part is called Jacobson's organ, or the vomeronasal organ. It is the paired auxiliary olfactory or smell organ located in the nasal cavity in various four-legged animals, and its work is to detect specific compounds emanating from prey, predators, and potential mates. Some humans may have physical remnants of this organ, but it is vestigial, non-functional now and not required by the human body. Spleen. The spleen is an organ found in almost all vertebrates, and it acts primarily as a blood filter. It removes old red blood cells and holds a reserve of blood, which can be valuable in cases of hemorrhagic shock, and it also recycles iron. It provides a home for lymphocytes packed with antibodies, which boost the immune system. It is often prone to rupture when injured and usually has to be removed. Its removal does not make any difference, as the liver takes over most of the spleen's functions. People without a spleen can live a long, healthy life. Tailbone. The tailbone, or coccyx, is the last part of the vertical column in apes and humans. It's a pointy bone, and if it is fractured, it can cause difficulty while sitting and walking for a long time. Ages ago, in our ancestors, it was longer in size, and it was our ancestors' vestigial tail. It is the last trace that proves that in the past, we were swinging around the trees and using tails to hold on to branches. Today, it serves no purpose, although it does provide attachments to various other muscles and tendons in the area. Unsuitable body parts that create problems. There are several parts in our bodies that are faulty and they cause more problems and troubles than are useful. Feet. Humans have incredibly bony feet. Each foot contains around 26 bones, and most are smaller in size. The flexibility of hands and feet made sense when our ancestors were ancient primates, and it helped them to climb on trees and hold branches of the trees. The limbs' flexibility gave them the functionality to jump from one tree to the next. But we left that age a long time ago. Now we do not climb on the trees or cling to the branches of the trees, or we do not jump from one tree to another to travel. Now people walk upright, therefore, they need a more stable foot to balance their bodies on land and propel themselves from one step to the next. Due to the too flexible feet of an earlier age, these are prone to easily twisting the wrong way, which leads to all sorts of foot-related ailments, like sprain, stress, fractures, and tendinitis, reflecting the foot's struggle to balance stability with flexibility in a new scenario. Spine. The human spine, originally suitable for quadrupedal locomotion when our ancient ancestors walked on 4 limbs, has been forced to adapt to bipedalism. Humans walking upright messes up our spines. The spine in those animals that walk on all 4 limbs arches like a bridge, and it helps support the weight of their internal organs dangling beneath. Around 6 million years ago, our ancestors stood up straight and forced their smooth, arch-shaped spine into an S shape. The top is curved outward to support the weight of our heads. The bottom is curved inward to keep our torso in line with our feet so we can balance. However, this adaptation is far from perfect. The curvature subjects the spine to significant stress, particularly in the lumbar region, leading to widespread issues such as lower back pain, herniated discs, and sciatica. These problems are exacerbated by the sedentary lifestyle prevalent in modern society, which further strains an already imperfect system. Pharynx. The pharynx is a muscular tube in the middle of the neck. It is a part of the throat behind the mouth and nasal cavity and above the esophagus and trachea. Our throat contains two important tubes, the trachea, or windpipe, where air travels to the lungs, and the esophagus, where food travels from the mouth to the gastrointestinal tract, where it is digested. The pharynx helps humans to breathe and digest food. Thus, it serves a dual purpose. The flap of cartilage called the epiglottis stops food from entering the trachea. The placement of the pharynx in the throat is another design flaw. This anatomical arrangement increases the risk of choking, a life-threatening event that results from the airway being obstructed by food during talking, coughing, or some respiratory diseases. Every year, around 150,000 people die by choking on food. In the USA, around 5,000 people die each year, and in Japan, the number of such people is around 4,000 per year. Other animals have a more practical arrangement, and their windpipes and esophagus are placed far away from each other. Testicles. Unlike most other organs, which are protected by muscles, fat, or bony structures, genital organs are exposed to outside dangers as they hang outside our bodies. This can make them a prime target for every incoming threat, even one emanating from a small stone, a cricket ball, or someone's kick. Other animals also have the same problem, but as they walk on four limbs, their genital organs are somewhat protected inside, whereas the human body's upright position makes them totally unprotected to cope with any threat. Why are testicles in such a precarious position in many mammals? The reason is sperm, which are produced in the testicles. They remain the healthiest when they are stored in a cool place. For that purpose, nature keeps them as far away from the body as possible to keep them a few degrees below body temperature. It was manageable while we were ancient primates, as other mammals do now, but once human beings started walking upright, everything went topsy-turvy. Besides making them vulnerable, gravity also pulls them down, which can lead to a potentially excruciating condition called inguinal hernia. Vision. Human vision, while capable of remarkable feats, is also fraught with limitations. The design of the eye includes a blind spot called scotoma. It is an obscuration of the visual field. A particular blind spot is the place in the visual field that corresponds to the lack of light-detecting photoreceptor cells on the optic disc of the retina, where the optic nerve passes through the optic disc. Because there are no cells to detect light on the optic disc, the corresponding part of the field of vision is invisible. This flaw is not present in the eyes of some other animals. Cephalopods, which are marine creatures like octopuses, squids, and cuttlefish, don't have a blind spot. This branch of animals evolved eyes completely on their own. Moreover, the human eye is limited in its ability to see in low-light conditions and has a relatively narrow field of vision compared to many other species. These limitations are remnants of our evolutionary past, where different environmental pressures shaped the sensory capabilities of our ancestors. Sinuses. When we breathe air, it enters our body through the nose and passes through four chambers called the sinuses. Here, air is warmed up, humidified, and filtered by mucous membranes. The resultant mucus is drained to the stomach. That work is manageable for the top 2 sinuses, which are placed on the upper side. They have gravity to help them throw mucus behind. The remaining 2 lower but big sinuses, present behind the cheeks, face difficulty in upward drainage, leading to head colds and sinus infections. Dogs and other animals do not get sinus infections because they have elongated nasal cavities, which drain mucus down and back with gravity. Anterior cruciate ligament. The anterior cruciate ligament is one of the key ligaments that help stabilize the knee joint. This ligament connects the thigh bone, called the femur, to the shin bone, called the tibia, and holds the 2 halves of your leg together. It is most commonly torn during sports that involve sudden stops and changes in direction, such as basketball, soccer, tennis, and volleyball. It has no blood vessels, and if it is torn, the only way to fix it is surgery. In case of rupture, a person can usually walk, but the knee may feel unstable and give way, making the person stumble or fall. Plantaris muscle. Another such muscle is the plantaris muscle. It runs all the way from the knee joint to the heel. The plantaris is considered to have become an unimportant muscle when our human ancestors switched from climbing trees to bipedalism. Today, this muscle mainly acts with the gastrocnemius muscle, which is the main muscle for walking and posture. The plantaris muscle is susceptible to injury caused by too much pressure on one leg. Tennis, basketball, and soccer players often suffer from ruptures of this muscle. Its overall function in the body is minimal, so it may cause more trouble than it's worth. Defective functioning of the human body. Immune system. The human body's immune system is incredibly complex and generally effective, but it can sometimes misfire, leading to autoimmune diseases where the body attacks its own tissues without any reason. There are over 100 known autoimmune diseases, of which rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis are very common. Genetic problems. At the genetic level, the human body is riddled with imperfections. Mutations in DNA can lead to genetic disorders, some of which are devastating. For instance, cystic fibrosis, a condition caused by a single gene mutation, leads to severe respiratory and digestive problems. Sickle cell anemia, another genetic disorder, results from a mutation in the hemoglobin gene, causing red blood cells to become misshapen and leading to chronic pain and organ damage. At the same time, some genetic variations can confer advantages, but many result in debilitating conditions that highlight the fragility of our genetic makeup. Diseases at birth. There are several diseases that a child carries from birth. These are due to biological, chemical, genetic, and hormonal malfunctions in the mother's body. A few are named. 1. 1 in 59 children suffers from autism, which is a condition that individuals face difficulty in social interaction. 2. 1 in 100 people is born a psychopath. They suffer from chronic mental disorders. 3. 1 in 120 babies is born with white skin patches. This condition is called vitiligo. 4. 1 in 700 babies suffers from Down syndrome due to an extra chromosome. It causes developmental delays and mild to moderate intellectual disabilities. 5. 1 in 17,000 babies is born with albinism. In this condition, due to genetic malfunction, babies are born without melanin pigment in their bodies, leading to white hair, skin, etc. 6. 1 in 80,000 babies is born with mermaid syndrome. It refers to a congenital development disorder when the legs are fused. Congenital anomalies. Humans encounter several anomalies at birth over which they have neither control nor the ability to correct them. In many cases, we do not even know the reason for such anomalies. Some are listed. 1. Division of people into left and right-handed segments. 90% are born right-handed, and 10% are born left-handed. Though people know how these people work by using opposite sides of their brain's hemispheres, but no one knows why such an anomaly occurs. 2. In some individuals, the color of the eyes appears green. It occurs 1 in 50 persons. 3. 1 in 167 people is born with different colored eyes, a condition called heterochromia. 4. 1 in 500 people is born with an extra finger or sixth finger, and this condition is called polydactyly. 5. Twin births occur in 1 out of every 85 pregnancies. Triplets are born in 1 out of 7,200 pregnancies. Quadruplets are born in 1 out of 600,000 pregnancies. 6. 1 in 1,700 people is born with an extra hand or leg. This condition is called polymelia, which is a birth defect. 7. Small head is witnessed in 1 out of 5,000 people. This condition is called microcephaly. 8. 1 out of every 35,000 people is born blind or deaf. 9. 1 in 95,000 babies is born with one eye. This condition is called cyclopia. 10. 1 in 125,000 people is born with gigantism. In this condition, the person faces excessive growth in height. 11. Conjoined twins are born in 1 in 200,000 pregnancies. Conjoined triplets are born in 1 in 50 million pregnancies. Aging process. Moreover, the process of aging is a fundamental flaw embedded in our genetic makeup. As humans get older, cellular processes degrade, leading to a decline in physical and cognitive abilities. Telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes, shorten with each cell division, eventually leading to cell death or malfunction. This biological clock ensures that no matter how well a body is maintained, it will inevitably succumb to the ravages of time, leading to a host of diseases such as Alzheimer's, cancer, and cardiovascular diseases. These conditions are not only debilitating but also reflect the inherent limitations of our biological design. Inability to process sugar and fats. The evolutionary flaws in human anatomy and physiology have profound implications for our health. Our bodies, adapted for a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, struggle with the sedentary and high-calorie environments of contemporary life. This mismatch has led to an epidemic of lifestyle-related diseases such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. The body's inability to efficiently process excessive sugars and fats, combined with a propensity for fat storage, reflects an evolutionary adaptation that now poses significant health risks. Inability to make vitamin C. Before the start of the 19th century, millions of sailors suffered from a horrible disease called scurvy. Their gums would swell and bleed as their skin disintegrated and their brains decayed. This happened due to the deficiency of vitamin C, as they were far from shore for months and had no access to fresh fruits and vegetables, which were the main sources of vitamin C. This vitamin has a crucial role in how our body repairs damaged tissues, bones, and nerves. Now, humans, along with a few other animals like apes, guinea pigs, some bats, birds, and fish, are the only animals that encounter this problem permanently because other animals' bodies can produce their vitamin C, and they do not need fruits and vegetables. In human beings, this malfunction occurred due to an evolution process in which a gene mutation occurred that now prevents us from producing vitamin C by ourselves. Transgenders. Transgenders are the classic outcome of the human body's malfunction. The causes of transgender identity are multifactorial, encompassing biological, genetic, hormonal, and environmental influences. Research suggests that prenatal hormone exposure can influence gender identity. For example, variations in androgen levels during fetal development might affect brain structures linked to transgender people. Additionally, genetic factors may play a role, as studies have found certain genetic markers more prevalent in transgender individuals. However, in many Western countries, there has been significant progress in recognizing and protecting the rights of transgender people. Legal measures, such as anti-discrimination laws, access to gender-affirming healthcare, and the ability to change gender markers on identification documents, have improved the quality of life for many transgender individuals, but they still face significant challenges and discrimination. Transphobia, violence, and social ostracism exist in parts of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Flawed physical construction. Most vital parts are singular. In the human body, several vital organs are two in number, such as eyes, ears, nose with two nostrils, arms, hands, legs, feet, lungs, kidneys, etc. These are so designed that if one part is damaged, the second one can support the body in the usual way. However, several vital parts are singular, like the mouth, heart, liver, genitals, anus, etc. These are very important organs. The heart is the most important organ of the body, and if it stops functioning just for a few minutes, life will end. There is no alternative mechanism for it. The mouth is also very important, and if it is damaged by accident, tumor, or any other occurrence, then life can continue with medical help only, an option that is not available to everyone in this world. The genital organ is also single, and if it is damaged, then humans cannot reproduce or discharge their unwanted fluids. All living beings have one anus, which is the last part of the drainage for solid waste. Several diseases can cause obstruction, such as anal cancer, hemorrhoids, fissures, and fistulas. In these cases, humans have no alternative mechanism. The body has only a forward thrust. The construction of the human body is fundamentally oriented towards forward motion and activity. This design is evident in several anatomical features. The main parts eyes, arms, hands, legs, and feet are designed for this position only. Our eyes are positioned at the front of our heads, providing a wide field of vision that is optimized for looking ahead only. This forward-facing orientation navigates the environment, detects threats, performs tasks only on the front side, and requires precise hand-eye coordination. Moreover, our limbs are structured to facilitate forward movement. We can hold and pick up things with our hands that are placed in front of us. The legs are positioned beneath the torso, allowing for efficient walking and running in a forward position only. The alignment of our joints, such as the knees and elbows, further supports this forward-directed functionality, enabling a range of motions that are essential for daily activities and survival. Human smell and hearing organs can detect signals from all sides, but even then, they cannot determine the nature of the source of that odor or voice. Whenever humans smell or hear any voice, they have to turn their bodies towards that object to determine the source of that voice and smell by using their eyes. This is a basic flaw in the physical body. Our front is highly exposed to threat. While the back is vulnerable due to its lack of protective structures, the front side of the human body is delicate and exposed to danger differently because humans stand and walk on two hind limbs, thus exposing their front fully to everything. The chest and abdomen house vital organs such as the heart, lungs, liver, and intestines, which are essential for sustaining life. Although these organs are protected by the rib cage and abdominal muscles, they remain susceptible to injury from any pointed or blunt force, penetrating wounds, and other forms of trauma. The skin on the front of the body is also more exposed compared to the back. The face, in particular, is highly sensitive and contains numerous sensory organs, including the eyes, nose, and mouth. These features are critical for perceiving and interacting with the world, but they are also prone to injury due to their placement on the front side. Backside is unsafe. All our vital parts are placed on the front side. Our back side is just blank. Humans have two eyes, and both are placed on the front side. We cannot see the back. We are prone to danger, even when someone attacks from behind with a small stone. Humans have no way to know that danger is lurking behind them. Millions of humans are killed every year in this way. A similar case exists with predators, killers, and those who pose a threat to our lives. If they pursue us and we run for life, humans have no way of knowing how close that predator or killer has come to its body. If he had an eye on the back side, it could have immediately turned left or right to dodge the predator if that predator was too close. We are susceptible to grave, life-threatening situations from behind all the time. This is a big flaw in the construction of the human body. Urinary and reproductive functions are carried out by one organ. All mammals have a penis in males and a vagina in females, which perform dual functions of drainage of liquids as well as reproduction. This is a major flaw in our construction of the body. Two vital functions are entrusted to one organ only, which is fully exposed to outside threats and dangers. Conclusion. The human body, despite its remarkable capabilities, is far from perfect. Anatomical inefficiencies, physiological vulnerabilities, and genetic imperfections all underscore the notion that the body is a product of disastrous evolution rather than intelligent design. These faults remind us that while the body is an extraordinary system, it is not immune to the limitations and frailties inherent in all living organisms. Understanding these imperfections not only provides insight into human health and disease but also highlights the ongoing need for medical advancements to mitigate these inherent flaws.